Welcome to, we're at number 5. Check us out. Number 5 of Between Your Ears. I'm your boy JT, and I have my special guest, Cousin Chuck from Occupy Fantasy. What up?
How we doing?
In any holiday family thing, you're my number one pick if we're playing basketball that day. It's that
Same.
unguardable here. He
Man.
might be the only person in in the family circle where I might be like he's the only one I'll admit that can beat me in ones. That's it. It's high praise. That's the highest praise I could give you, Chuck.
We'll go have some fun shooting contests.
That's my only shot. One-on-ones, I'm screwed. I'm too old now. But big news today. Kind of an emergency pod. Kyrie Irving, dun 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 dun, goes to play with Luka in Dallas. What was your snap reaction when you first saw it? Because I texted you immediately and I was like, bleep, 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 bleep. Kyrie's in Dallas.
Well, the first thing I saw was my friend texted me saying, at least it's not the Lakers. And I said, all right, sweet. And then as it the Mavericks, like, it seems like it's going to be a disaster. But
really? You're calling disaster here?
I mean, they're going to play well. It's nice there's another ball handler, but I don't see how this is anywhere close to competing for a championship.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think it's championship. And, the biggest thing here is Dallas's problem was defense. They have no defenders. They traded away probably their best wing defender in Dorian Finney-Smith. And I'm not saying that, Dorian Finney-Smith should have stopped them from getting Kyrie, but Kyrie ain't helping your defense. So this is literally going to turn into, we just have to outscore you, which we saw that formula in Brooklyn when it was Harden and Kyrie. That really didn't work out. They struggled some nights trying to just purely outscore guys. And I'm really interested to see how that's going to shake out there. I don't think they're a contender, but I think just from the fact that if this appeases Luka, it's a win for them no matter what. Because worst case scenario, they're just kind of clearing cap space. But as a Laker fan, you didn't want Kyrie?
Absolutely not. I was prepared to root for the Clippers for the rest of the season.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that extreme. Yeah. I don't want to root for Kyrie. It's already hard enough to root for this team.
Yeah. I mean, look, I try to, we try to stay apolitical on the podcast, but we'll make it very clear here. Kyrie's off the court stuff definitely is not something we want to promote or be with at all. It's definitely tough to watch. But on the court, and what makes it worse is that the guy on the court is a savant. Like offensively, he is. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. He's a wizard with the ball, which is kind of funnily enough. I thought the Wizards kind of would have made a play here. I don't know how they didn't go, hey, Bradley Beal, would you like him? Like, worst case scenario, we don't have to pay Bradley Beal $50 million for the next 5 years. That's not going to end well. And I like Bradley Beal, but he's not a $50 million a year player. But yeah. So as a Laker fan, you're good. How are you feeling if you're a Clipper fan?
I actually think the Clippers should be the favorite to. I think the Clippers are my pick to come out of the West.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think the Clippers are very good. Like, I don't know if Kyrie, they could use an upgrade at point guard, but I don't know if a player as good as Kyrie is what they need. Just a solid defensive-minded player who can hit open threes. They already have Paul George and Kawhi.
Trying to see what the Clippers' odds are to come out of the West. Clippers are plus 1,500 to win the title.
To win the championship?
Mm-hmm. On FanDuel, they're plus 1,500. Shameless plug. Hey, FanDuel, if you want to sponsor us, just because we shouted you out right now. Yeah, they're plus 1,500 at FanDuel, plus 1,000 at BetGM, plus 1,100 at Caesars. PointsBet has them plus 1,400. That's kind of interesting that BetGM has them as low as plus 1,000. They have a few teams around there. But, I mean, out of the teams that I see, that's kind of a value bet.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
looked up not necessarily to win the championship, but to
come out
make
of
the
the West,
finals.
make
Yeah,
the finals?
yeah, and then either the Bucks or Celtics in the East.
No Sixers? Sixers are the trendy betting team right now.
I don't see it. I just don't see
Is it
how.
is it James Harden? That's the problem.
It's not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily the Sixers have a problem. I just think the Celtics defense is really good, and then the Bucks
Hmm.
have Giannis, and he has a lot of good players around him. So
I'm just the one thing about the Celtics for me is like I do think that there's been a I don't want to say significant. Significant feels a little too strong of a word, but I have to assume that the drop from Udoka to Missoula is gonna. I feel like that's gonna rear its head at some point. I don't know when, but I really feel like not having Ime there is gonna make a difference.
it's possible, but they've been rolling. I haven't checked in a couple of weeks, but they were at least top three in a defensive rating still.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you have Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, and I think Robert Williams is one of the top defensive centers in the NBA. So
Yeah.
I think their whole team is just perfect, pretty much.
Very different defense when Williams stays healthy, and you got Brogdon, who right now I think Brogdon's my sixth man of the year. He's in terms of impact, he's been the most impactful guy.
That's funny you mentioned that because Steve Kerr announced that Kevin Looney's going to be in the starting lineup again. So Steph got hurt, so that might affect
Right.
it. But so Jordan Poole's odds were plus 4,200. And then
Yeah.
after Steve Kerr said he's going to come off the bench again, they changed it to like plus 1,400 pretty quick.
Wow.
And now I have to assume he's going to be starting for Steph for the next month. So I don't know that Poole's going to play enough games to qualify. So he would have been my pick.
Yeah. Norm Powell's plus 1,000, and I think he leads the league in bench scoring. So that's kind of a fun one there too.
I like Norman Powell. Yeah, and that goes along with my Clippers narrative too. If the Clippers
Yeah.
are really good, but I mean, sixth man of the year, who averages 20, it's pretty much going to be it, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's gonna be a fascinating race. I think that's the best race to get value at the moment. There's so you didn't want the Clippers to make it. Is there any other team that you felt like Kyrie, if someone should have traded for Kyrie, taking our personal feelings aside? Like, I don't know, like being a Knicks fan, I know that the Nets would never trade Kyrie there, so I don't really have to deal with it. I probably wouldn't feel great about it, especially with how the Knicks are. But is there another team that you felt this team should trade for Kyrie?
So my problem with Kyrie is that what team can he go to that doesn't already have a ball dominant player and help, win a championship? Because like I was thinking the Heat when you first asked me that question, and
Sure.
like it takes the ball out of Bam's hands, it takes the ball out of Jimmy Butler's hands, out of
Sure.
I don't know, Tyler Hero, maybe whoever would have been in the trade, but
it's hard to imagine Hero's not in it.
Yeah, I did think the Heat kind of made sense though.
Lowry is the match contractually, and then
the corpse of Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, we knew that was going to end. We just didn't know when. It just happens to be now.
It was so quick. It was so fast. The decline.
Yeah. Body types sometimes do that.
It's true. Yeah.
My team that I had that I wanted to see that I thought should make the move for Kyrie was New Orleans. I really felt like New Orleans made the most sense. They have the contract match with CJ. Kyrie is so the one problem with that though is on the court, Kyrie is a massive upgrade over CJ McCollum, but off the court, I think it's a massive downgrade because CJ is like the president of the players union. So he is that adult for that very young New Orleans team. And we saw the last time when you're depending on Kyrie to be the adult in the room, look at the 2019 Boston Celtics. Sometimes that doesn't work out. But just from a foundational standpoint, you have Zion, and you have BI, you have Brandon Ingram there, both Duke guys, both familiar with Kyrie from, you have the Duke connection. You could use Coach K a little bit there. Stylistically, I think that those three mesh very well together. You have David Griffin, who he didn't draft Kyrie, but he was with Kyrie the longest in Cleveland. Kyrie has spoken pretty well about David Griffin. He talked about how when Griffin wasn't retained, he wanted to get out of Cleveland. Didn't really like Kobe Altman. So I kind of thought there, like I was like, okay, so you have like kind of the mesh there. They have extra draft capital, so they could kind of sacrifice theoretically and not feel it. And it's a place where you're not going to attract free agents, so you have to trade for people. That was the only spot. They are 10th. They're like right on the cusp of the bubble. I don't know. That was the one spot that I thought that might make sense. You'd still have defensive issues. I think you're going to have defensive issues no matter where you send Kyrie. But that was the one that made the most sense, I thought, for both parties. Sending CJ to Brooklyn kind of stabilizes that team. He could fill that. You scoop up some extra draft capital and kind of move on from there. But we know where he's going. He's going to Dallas. How do we like it for Dallas? Let's talk real life first, like on court, and then we'll do fantasy stuff.
Well, for me, I play daily fantasy every day. That's the content at Occupy Fantasy. We talk about DraftKings and FanDuel, and so my mind is like, well, now Luka's not going to average 70 fantasy points or whatever stupid, ridiculous scores he's been putting up. He can't, because one of the things about playing with Luka is your fantasy rates are just cut in half. And it's just, these guys are not getting, their rebounding rates are down, their assist rates are down, their scoring rates are down. They're just, Luka's so ball dominant. And so it actually, I'm not doubting that Kyrie Irving makes the Mavs better. I'm not saying he doesn't. Sure. But me, I'm selfish. I want to see Luka put up just stupid historical stat lines.
He had the highest daily fantasy score. I think that 60, 20, 12 game he had. He had like 60 points, 20 boards.
Yeah, I
saw Mitchell had a 96, but I don't think that so.
Embiid put up 100 this year, I think, too. James Harden had the old record. It was like 105, but Luka broke it this season.
Yeah, I mean 60 and 20. I don't even think Wilt's done that. Wilt Chamberlain would be the daily fantasy god, right? Could you? They would have to take him out of the game, right? He couldn't be in it.
Well, so the thing is, like, when you play Luka Doncic, the rest of your lineup, you can't fit other stars. So it's basically you need him to put up 70 and hope that these scrub players, put up a big score. And so if Wilt was playing today, he would just be a price where you're playing Wilt Chamberlain with guys like Cameron Payne and Gabe Vincent and Dwight Powell as the rest of your lineup, and so they would balance it, and it would still make sense to play
Dragan Bender.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It still made sense to play Luka because if he puts up, a 50 real life points, then you have to have him.
Yeah. So Dallas gives up Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 29 first, and 2 2s. I don't know where the 2s are, but whatever. Let's assume they're a little far out. We were talking before the pod. The biggest loss that we hate there for Dallas is Dorian Finney-Smith, because before this, Dallas did not have a good defense, and now you just sent out your best wing defender. So the question is this going to be a net positive for them? Are they going to move up in the standings? Are they going to kind of stay status quo? I think they're 3rd or 4th right now. Or do you think that they're going to fall, and how far would they fall?
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember if it was last season or 2 seasons ago. They had, I don't know if they finished the season, but for most of the season, they had the highest offensive rating of all time. And even though their defense was at the bottom of the league, so it didn't even matter because they were scoring so many points. It was the year that the Mavs beat the Suns in the playoffs, I think. And I even said, just variance hits them the right way and they just hit threes, then the other team just can't do anything.
Yeah.
So the defense almost doesn't matter.
We got the infamous meme as well, Luka staring at Devin Booker. It's so good. We've all felt that out of basketball court where it's like,
oh yeah, Oh yeah, especially with all the Suns fans talking about, well, everyone, like trying to put Luca down, and
Yeah,
then
it's
just
ridiculous.
the ultimate revenge, winning.
Um, I mentioned this to you. I think it's a net win for Dallas if it means Luca trusts the front office more that they will go out and get a star. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be rough. I think that they're gonna fall, man. I had Dallas as a regression candidate before the trade. Um, I just I don't know, man. I really am scared about that defense. I think teams are going to make adjustments in this last third going into the playoffs. I don't I kind of want to be bold and do the hot take thing and say they're going to fall to the play-in game, but I think that's just me wearing my Knicks hat because I'm rooting for them to fall completely out, so we get a lottery pick. But realistically, I think they're just good. They're going to be awesome offensively. I think they'll stay out of the playing game. I'll say they'll be sixth. My bad, guys. I'm just noticing the comments, so I'm going to throw them up now. Ben, our fantasy shot caller, you can check us out. We'll be back soon. My guy Ben, the fantasy shot caller. Will Luca be more of a passer now? We all know Kyrie is only about shooting his shot.
So I think Luca's tired. Luca is so tired right now that I think kind of at first he's going to be okay with it. He's going to let Kyrie come in, and he's never played with a player like Kyrie before. Not everyone has, and so I don't know. Luca's has a teammate that can go do whatever he wants, get a bucket whenever he wants. Spencer Dinwiddie is a good player. Jalen Brunson was a good player, but like you said, nothing comparable to Kyrie Irving. Um, and
Whoa,
so,
whoa, 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 whoa! We're talking about All-Star snub Jalen Brunson. I don't know, man.
who should he have gotten in over?
Nobody. I'm just being the dumb Knicks fan.
I
He
am
the only
shocked.
person the only person I could realistically make an argument for would be over Randall, and
Mhm.
I'm not mad that Randall's in over him. But that's the only player you could realistically say, but front court's been kind of weak this year, so that's the only one there.
Yeah, no.
Um, what up, David? Thanks for dropping by. David thinks that the Mavs are definitely going to move up. I mean, that's fair. I don't think that they catch Denver, and I don't think they're better than Memphis. And now with Phoenix getting Booker back, I expect Phoenix to kind of I think Phoenix will close that gap. So that's kind of my main reason why I think they'll fall a little bit there. There's going to be an acclimation period. Um, Ben's saying JT. Yeah, only because nearly 90% of my moves are step backs. So that's the only reason they call me that. But Chuck, you gotta come play with me and Ben. We're at Pan. You can come check us out at Pan most weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Try to get there early, or you'll be waiting on the sidelines for a while. All right. So thumbs up, thumbs down for Kyrie.
It's funny because I saw someone post on Twitter earlier a model that thumbs up. Like I saw someone
Yeah.
post a model that it's minus 10 wins for the Mavs and plus 10 wins for the Nets. And the top comment was just,
Jesus.
all right, well, we should probably just throw that model out. It's like, yeah. Like I think it's a great trade for the Nets, but it undoubtedly makes the Mavs better.
All
Like
right.
it's not close.
This leads me to what I really want to talk about. I thought it was hilarious once like the Kyrie trade request came out. We saw the memes of uh where it's like, oh, where she asks about you and you're like, nah, but what's up with your friend though? With how everybody was like, oh, Kyrie asked for a trade request. What's up with Kevin Durant? Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to know what's up with Kevin Durant. And rightfully so. I mean, hell, I want to know what's up with Kevin Durant. We have the trade machine up. If anyone listening has any places they want us to see if it's possible he goes there, please let us know in the comment section. You want to go first, or or you want me to tell you I really, really, really want Kevin Durant to go here place? I'm still here. Chuck. Oh, we lost Chuck. Well, it's just going to be me. We'll see if Chuck gets back in here, but we'll keep the show on the road here. So Durant is kind of going to be where he's going to be the trade du jour right now. Everyone's going to be talking about Durant, where he's going. The biggest spot that we're seeing right now is Memphis. That's not my wish. Although that would be kind of spicy. I think that would spice things up, especially with the budding Golden State Memphis rivalry going on. That would add a whole different layer. It'd be cool to watch Draymond have to try to guard Kevin Durant for real. I just think Memphis is probably going to, in the end, have to try to probably give up too much there. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Last I checked, so Durant, Brooks, Danny Green, they probably have to give up Brandon Clark there. That puts them at 25 mil. Who else can they give? Steven Adams, but that's too many rotation players. Zaire Williams. It's hard to see them not giving up Bane. That's a lot of guys, and that doesn't even get you to the salary threshold. That's going to be they'd have to add someone else for tax. That they just have to gut their entire lineup. And you're probably going to be left with something like Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams, which that's really, really good. That's probably Durant, and Jaren Jackson is probably the best big three in the league, but it's really hard to see just how Memphis has operated throughout the years that they're going to go that route. Ben thinks Kyrie and James Harden have become the laughing stocks of the NBA. Well, I think it's Kyrie and Ben Simmons. I think Harden won that battle between him and Ben Simmons. Well, I'm texting Chuck. I think James Harden won that battle. But even that, it's like a day-to-day thing. He's looked good lately in Philadelphia, but I don't know, with the random rumors, the NBA personality right now is so just flippy, where he was like, oh, maybe I'll go back to Houston. These Philly strip clubs aren't looking that great. Who knows? But we can only stay in the moment. I think Kyrie and Ben Simmons are probably the biggest laughing stocks right now. But hey, at least one of those laughing stock plays. The other one does not. Ben saying to the Knicks, I think Joe Tsai would rather trade with the Lakers than the Knicks. I think the Knicks are unfortunately kind of that one team that won't happen. Ben says, which kind of sucks because the Knicks probably do have a package that makes sense there. If you were to strip them and, say the Knicks move to San Diego or something, they would probably be the odds-on favorite to land Durant there. It sucks. We matched up with what I think Brooklyn would want to trade Kevin Durant. We have all our picks. We have extra picks from Dallas. We have extra seconds. We have a young piece in RJ Barrett who's just 22. Too bad Steve Nash isn't there anymore because he's RJ Barrett's godfather. We have everything that they would potentially want for Durant, but unfortunately, I think it's been made very clear that the Knicks and Nets won't associate with each other in a trade. Bummer, but it could be worse. I guess we could have signed Kyrie and Durant like every Knicks fan wanted. Looks like we made out okay not having them. But the one team that my dream, and looking at the trade machine, it's highly unlikely to happen. I would want to see Durant go to Denver.
Chuck joined.
I think. We got Chuck back.
Sorry about that. Not sure.
No, all good. You missed us discussing why Kevin Durant can't go to the Knicks. But I was saying if the Knicks and Nets didn't reside in the same borough, I mean not same borough, but in the same city, if they didn't reside in the same city, the Knicks do have the assets that I think that would get the Nets to move Durant. They have all their picks. They have extra picks, and they have a young piece to center it around in RJ Barrett. Now, it would have been easier if Steve Nash was still there, considering he's Steve Nash's godson. But the trendy choice is Memphis for Durant. I don't see it. They'd have to give up too much. They'd have to give up too many rotational pieces. I plugged it in and it looks bad although if your job is to construct the best big three, I don't know if there'd be a better one than Ja, Durant, and Jaren Jackson. That would probably be the best trio in the league.
If I'm the Nets, I'm asking for Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane.
If it's only those two, I might make that trade. Uh-oh, we're losing Chuck. Oh, you're frozen. Well, hopefully we get Chuck back. But for those of you with us, I'm going to go on to chat about it's Denver. I really want Kevin Durant to go to the Denver Nuggets. I think that would be the best spot for basketball reasons for Kevin Durant. You get to link up with Jokic. If somehow, I mean,
Chuck joined.
Chuck's back.
I'm sorry. If it happens again, I'm just going to log off. But
You're just going to unsubscribe me.
Chuck joined.
If it happens again after that.
It's all good. We have like one people watching. We're good.
We gotta do good by that one or two people.
Yeah. We have to. I mean, most people are sleeping. They're gonna start with this in the morning. All right. So the team that I want to see Durant go to is the Nuggets. I think they're the best on-court fit and in terms of needs. Now, my immediate thought was like Michael Porter, Bruce Brown, Bones Highland. I think I had to throw in like Ish Smith for matching purposes, but I wouldn't be opposed to even throwing in Cody Braun or Zeke Naji there. I would literally throw whatever I had to get Durant if I'm the Nuggets. The biggest issue with them is they can only trade their 2029 first round pick. And that's probably going to be the deal breaker there, because if I'm taking Michael Porter as the cornerstone of a trade, I need 3 first rounders minimum.
I feel like they'd have to give up Aaron Gordon too.
I'm okay giving up Aaron Gordon. He's an all-star this year, but I think we all kind of come to the conclusion that Aaron Gordon is having a career year, and it's because of the odds-on favorite for the MVP and Nikola Jokic. She's the perfect player for Jokic. But is Jokic,
good
is Aaron Gordon going to stop you from getting Kevin Durant? He's not going to stop me.
Aaron Gordon isn't stopping me from getting probably half the league.
But yeah, my pipe dream is the Nuggets. And then probably secondary behind them is probably the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of for the same reasons I illustrated with Kyrie. They're not going to get free agents there. You need to try to get ahead of the Zion train, and I think Durant with Zion would be pretty. He's basically fully evolved Brandon Ingram, but it's going to go back to, does he fit their timeline?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was thinking the Raptors, but so they have the pieces, but which pieces would they give up? Like, it kind of makes sense, you know. OG Anunoby and Siakam seems like is it too much for Kevin Durant?
Love you, Ben. They have the piece. Toronto does have the pieces. You were saying, who would they give up?
Yeah, is Siakam and OG Anunoby too much for Kevin Durant? You're left with Scotty Barnes, Kevin Durant, Fred VanVleet, some combination of Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa. It's a big man.
So I think the key to that is going to be, one, can I re-sign Fred VanVleet? That's going to be a question. Would that be enough to sway him to stay? Or maybe potentially you trade him elsewhere to get a different guy that can't opt out there, maybe someone that Durant likes better. I like any Toronto scenario where they don't give up Scotty Barnes.
They're not, yeah, Scotty Barnes is untouchable, I think. I don't think there's a player in the league. Like maybe Luka, Giannis, but other than that, no. To me, Scotty Barnes is incredible. Incredible
Yeah,
player.
I love Scotty Barnes. He fills the stat sheet. He's great. I mean, he's awesome. I have a hard time thinking that the Nets are going to trade him to anywhere in the East. I'm having a hard time seeing that.
That's a good point.
I don't see them. Sean Marks. I'm surprised Sean Marks kind of caved with Kyrie. Kyrie must have said that I'm just not going to play. No. I thought Sean Marks was going to call his bluff here.
Was Kyrie expiring?
He can opt out, and the whole thing was they offered him the max. They just put stipulations on it, and Kyrie was offended by it, which I don't want to speak for Kyrie, but I think the general consensus amongst the public is the Nets are justified in putting stipulations on a fully guaranteed 4-year max to a guy that, frankly, hasn't shown that he wants to be there all the time.
Right.
And that's putting it in the lightest. That's probably the nicest way we could put that. So, but what the interesting part about the contract situation there is Kyrie now can't get a 4-year max with Dallas. The most he can get is a 2-year max, I think. And it's less money than what the Nets could do.
Well, he can still sign a 4-year like max contract. It's just the max is now less than it was with the Nets.
I'm pretty sure I heard Bobby Marks say he can only sign a 2-year extension with the Mavs.
I mean, I've never heard of that before. So I'm not sure. I feel like that's a player choice.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised when I heard it. We'll double check on that. I'm fairly positive that's what I heard. Maybe it's different if he opts out. I typically that's how those mechanisms work. If we were to stay in the East, what do we think about Cleveland?
I hate it. I think Cleveland. Well, for who? Like, who do they give up? I think their 2 big men are great. I think Donovan and Darius is working so far.
Hold on. They have a guy that they can give up.
For Kevin Durant?
Yeah. Kevin Love's contract.
Kevin
Love's contract gets you so close. It gets you close. No, I'm not. Obviously, it's not Kevin Love straight up, but it gets you close.
Yeah, but I have Kevin Durant under contract for 4 years. Like, if I'm trading him, I need a player who's capable of, or 2 players who are capable of being borderline stars, if not a star.
You would have to sacrifice Mobley.
Keep Jared Allen. I mean, Jared Allen already played for the Nets.
Yeah, you can't send Allen back from that standpoint.
But the problem is that the Nets.
So this is the trade. This is the trade. This is the trade. It's Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, and Isaac Okoro.
I just don't think it makes sense for the Nets. Like, what is that starting lineup going to look like? Because you still have Ben Simmons, Royce O'Neal, and Nick Claxton. So, like, even if Ben Simmons is running the point and Spencer Dinwiddie's there.
So they need picks. They have to get picks. That's the.
Oh, they for sure have to get picks.
They have
Yeah,
to get picks.
if they're giving up.
I don't think the Cavaliers have enough picks to entice them. So, yeah, I don't because they used them in the Donovan trade.
Well, did you see the odds for the favorite to land, Katie?
What is it?
Well, in order, it's Phoenix, Toronto, Miami, Boston, Golden State. But the first three are really the only ones. Phoenix, Toronto, and Miami.
Phoenix has all its picks. They can trade Ayton.
Why the Nets don't? The Nets have Claxton though. It would have to be like Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson.
I don't think the Nets are going to be too concerned about positional variability though. I think they have to just amass the best asset possible.
I mean, but trading for Ayton when you already have Claxton, who's already at worst top 12 center, just.
You think Claxton? Oh yeah, the stats. He's
been pretty good this season. His defense, really good, yeah, he's been pretty good. But I don't know. You need a wing, a ball handler. Like you went from having Kyrie and KD to having Spencer Dinwiddie and Ben Simmons as your ball handlers. It's rough.
Jesus Christ, they just.
You need a player.
It's like they time warp. They have Spencer Dinwiddie and.
And I checked Spencer Dinwiddie's contract, and he's getting paid $21 million this year and $21 million next year.
He has an opt-out as well. He can opt out at the end of the year.
Are you sure? Because the one I'm looking at, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has an opt-out. That's what Dallas was concerned about with Dinwiddie.
Okay, it becomes fully guaranteed if he plays in at least 50 games. Okay. So here's one thing too: is the Nets did not want to take back Christian Wood's expiring contract, so they have to have something else, like some idea of something else cooking up, right?
I don't think they're going to trade Durant, man.
I don't think so either.
I think they're going to take. So, like we see in baseball, you don't really like the Juan Soto thing was so unprecedented because typically a trade of that magnitude happens in the off season. Just from like a schematic standpoint and getting maximum value, because in the offseason you have more suitors. I think the Nets' best course of action here is going to be you got to ride through this season. You're deep in the playoffs. It's hard to imagine them not making the playoffs, especially if Cam Thomas just starts dropping 44 points in front of Eileen Gu every night.
Started on Cam Thomas.
But I think you have to take the half season I think they have to keep Durant. I don't. What's the difference? Because what's the difference in the package if you trade him at this deadline versus if you trade him in the off season? I don't think that there's going to be a big difference.
They're not competing for a championship this year either way.
Not anymore. Not without.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard to say that they were. They were the best team in the league when Kyrie and KD were on the court this season. All right, the Celtics. Outside of they had a stretch where they were the best team in the league.
They look good. They had good offense.
They had a
top
stretch.
Defense.
All right.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
All right. I'm not here to shower praise on the Nets anyway. But that being said, I think now you kind of have to I don't know. I think the trade rules might come into play. Maybe they can't repackage what they got, but now you have some assets where I think you can go out and get a guy. If I'm them, the trade that I'd be looking, if I'm going to keep Kevin Durant, I'm trying to send Ben Simmons to Detroit and try to get Bojan. That would be what I'm trying to do to keep Durant. Go the LeBron blueprint, surround Durant with shooters, make him the playmaker, and just run pick and roll with him and Claxton, have Claxton roll to the hoop, surround him with 3 shooters, and see what happens. I mean, crazy shit happens. Crazy injuries happen. You don't know. And then in the off season, you can try to rebuild another. You could try to entice another superstar. You're still in New York. It's a whole different landscape. You could try to appease Durant that way. I think KD is a sane person. You know, I think he has to understand the organizational point of view here where, hey, we did everything we could. We had to trade him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure KD's just pissed.
I mean, he's
not
he's
the
had
organization. Not the organization.
You don't think so? I mean, I think he's
secondary, but
yeah, I think he's going to be. I don't know. He was not happy with how they handled the suspension with Kyrie, but I don't know, man. I just feel like from a point, they tried everything. I felt like they tried everything. The one thing I'll say that the Nets shouldn't have done is they shouldn't have made those stipulations public. It felt like they were like spanking him in public. That was kind of that was the one thing that I was like, all right, maybe it went a little too far here. You do have to hope that this guy plays for you again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're paying.
That should have been like they released what he had to do 2 years later,
or after they traded him.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what we had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like that was poor on the Nets part, but all right. Do you have it? So your team's Toronto.
I would just like to see them. I would just like to see him put pieces around KD, though. I don't really want him to trade KD.
I think that's what they have to do, man. Where are you going to go with it?
I mean, like you said, though, wait till the offseason. They don't have to rush it. I think the only reason they should rush it is if someone thinks they're contending with KD and they make him an offer the Nets can't refuse. You know, a promising young player with draft picks and maybe, you know, another veteran or something.
I never thought that Kyrie was going to the Lakers.
No.
I never thought Westbrook was going to Brooklyn. No. I think if they made that move, they definitely lose KD and they would have to trade him at the deadline.
No, it would have been it would have just been like, hey, you're here, go home for Westbrook.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to play for us. We're good. We have Edmund Sumner.
You're like, hey man, Kevin doesn't want you here.
Yeah, straight up. Like he knows.
That would have had to be a 3-team trade where Westbrook goes elsewhere. I don't know. I can't really see anywhere else. The Golden State thing. So a lot of the Golden State talk is it's basically Poole and Draymond and all their picks.
Mm-hmm.
And in a vacuum, I would 10 times out of 10 take Kevin Durant over Draymond and Jordan Poole. I feel like that's fairly obvious, right? That's kind of a no-brainer to me. But the picks part plus I don't know about we're all sitting around and we're like kind of waiting for the Warriors to go on this run to where they become the 3 seed or the 2 seed. And in watching them play, man, I don't know, man. It feels a little disease of me a little bit. I am closer to saying that I don't think the Warriors win another championship with this core than saying that they win another one in the next, 1 to 2 years. I think 4 might be it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's any shame in that either. I mean, Steph Curry is a top 15 player of all time. Clay, no? Top 20?
Top 3?
Top 3?
Top 3? Like top 5 at worst. At worst, top 5.
Stop it.
I'll give you top 5.
All right. So confidently a top 15 player, like I said. His career's not over. Yeah. I try not to judge people until the career's over.
And he's 15. Already top 5.
Stop. How is he top 5? I can name 5. He's not past. Okay. He's not past Jordan. Let's not start.
I didn't give you. No, yeah, Jordan's up there.
He's not past LeBron.
Okay.
He's not past Kareem. And there's 3.
Can't argue that. Yeah, I can't argue that.
There's 3 right there.
He's tied with those 3 then for top. They're all top 3. Those 4 players are the top 3 of all time.
He's not past Kobe. You live in Los Angeles.
I'm not going to argue against that. So they're
You
all
live
top
in Los
5. That's the top
Angeles.
5. That's the top 5. Kobe and Steph, 4 and 5.
Oh my god, no.
Who else? There's no one else even.
He's
in the
not past
conversation.
Magic.
So
He's not
here's
past
the
Magic.
so
He's
here's
not
the
past
thing.
Magic. He's not past Magic.
Steph Curry is a better basketball player than Magic, but there's nothing he can do to match Magic's greatness, if that makes sense. But Steph has more skill than Magic Johnson did, and that's Well, I mean, obviously you can debate it, but to me, I just like Steph was better than
I don't.
Magic was.
I. Here's how I'm gonna say this. Very. I do not. Magic Johnson is a better basketball player in his era than Steph Curry would be, and Steph Curry is a better basketball player than Magic would be in this era. And that's so
three
they
of
are
the 5 guys we listed in the top 5 played within the last 6 years. So I think that the top
no,
list
it's
is
just LeBron. It's just LeBron and Kobe.
And Steph.
Stop it.
He changed game, man.
He
changed the world.
Oh, in ways of the game played, if we're talking about influential, he might be 1.
Okay.
Not off the court, not any of not anything like I'm talking about purely on the court. How much he changed the game. He might be 1. He's definitely top 3 there. He's top 3 in top 3 NBA revolutionizing the game unequivocally. Might be number 1.
Him, LeBron, and Kobe.
All right. Okay. You love Steph Curry. Anyways,
go to any park, go to like an AAU game. He destroyed youth basketball, man. I'm not saying it's a positive thing.
Oh no, definitely 100%. You watch an AAU game, it's cross, step back 3, cross, step back 3, cross, step back 3.
One thing you're talking about, CJ McCollum's a good leader. Like I think CJ McCollum is the ideal player for young people to learn from. Like just his off the court, like the way that he plays. Like he's one of the most fundamental players in the NBA. Like you got to trade him for Kyrie Irving if given the chance. But like I really agree with what you were talking about. They definitely need that leader for Zion and BI.
Yeah, no, 100%. He knew what he was doing last year when he called out Zion, where he's like, he hasn't even texted me, and I'm on TV right now. That was hey man, if I'm coming to your team, you should be the first one greeting me.
Yeah, I'm giving you an out to still contact me first, basically.
All right, so Durant, we have a consensus. He ain't going anywhere. Is there a move that you would like to see Brooklyn do? I talked about Simmons for Bojan. Maybe they can sneak Sadiq Bey in there because there's a lot of chatter they want Sadiq Bey traded.
I don't think that the Pistons are trading Bojan. They just re-signed him. Not for Ben Simmons anyway. Yeah, they just re-signed him to like 2-year 40, I think.
Oh, so they weren't bluffed. But does that preclude them from trading him?
I think it does.
It's not a Miles Turner. It's not a Miles Turner situation.
They're not trading him for Ben Simmons.
Hey man, I would trade Bojan for Ben Simmons if it meant I got more lottery balls for Wemby.
Yeah, but like you said, even if the Nets make the playoffs and they still have KD, they're still going to make the playoffs. It's going to be a mid first round pick. It's not going to be a lottery pick.
Even with Simmons?
Oh, you mean for Detroit to tank? Detroit's they're doing a great job tanking, man. They're letting the young players run, and
they don't play games. They're actively not playing defense there.
Yeah, they got Jalen Duren in the middle. Just put your hands up. You're good.
Yeah. Anywhere that you would send Simmons?
I don't think there's a team that he makes better.
Oh, I didn't say anything about making better.
There
are teams that will take him, though.
I don't think there's a player that could help the Nets that they could trade Ben Simmons for.
Russell Westbrook.
I'm not trading Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. It's already a disaster enough. I don't need a site. We already know how bad this is. Like it's this bad. But if we trade for Ben Simmons, it could be this bad.
Could you imagine Laker fans if they had to turn on the TV and see Ben Simmons in street clothes next to AD?
Dude, can you imagine the faces? You thought LeBron gave faces to Russ? Wait till you see the faces LeBron gives to Ben Simmons when he.
Hey, that's a clutch client. but Ben Simmons is a clutch client. He's nice to them.
LeBron knows well enough that he's better off with Russ than he is with Ben Simmons.
100%, which feels weird to say because not a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, we would have all been like, no, Ben Simmons is better. Ben Simmons, you got to go.
I wouldn't have taken that.
A year ago, it would have been a snap. It would have been a snap call.
He already hadn't played basketball for a long time.
Yeah, I still think it was a snap. The Russ stink was bad last year.
Russ was bad, but
you want to know why the answer is it would be because Ben Simmons netted James Harden.
Ben Simmons netted James Harden for the Sixers.
Yep.
Imagine they're gonna look back on this in history books. Like Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, kids 50 years from now, are they gonna be like, wait, Dad, why did the Nets trade James Harden for a guy that doesn't play?
They're going to look at the stats like James Harden averaged a 30-point triple-double basically for how many years, and Ben Simmons was an all-star at the beginning of his career, but let's say he plays another 7-8 years in this league. Like, his stats are never – like, I hope he does. I hope he comes back because I think it's all mental for him. But, like, if it continues like this, it's just
he's going to have one of the weirdest NBA careers.
Yeah, and he's going to make a ton of money.
The only thing that's comparable to me is Dwight Howard falling off, which I couldn't believe Dwight Howard wasn't a top 75 NBA guy.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
He clearly, someone tells me their age based on how they view Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not talking about off the field and like the weird. He is weird.
He's a weird dude.
He's a very weird guy, and he's killing it in China. He's LeBron James right now for the Guangzhou whatever.
He's having fun. He's having so much fun.
He's shooting threes.
He's doing whatever. He can do whatever he wants. It's like, yo,
he's probably gonna have another 10 kids.
Oh man,
He's got 8 right now.
There's a whole generation of Dwight Howard-born basketball players in China in 21 years.
Oh Jesus,
that's awesome.
Like, hey, that guy looks a lot like Dwight Howard.
Right. Yeah. So the difference, though, to me with Dwight Howard is he fell off, but he accepted the bench role and he was great for those 15 minutes we needed him, right?
Sure.
I don't know if Ben Simmons could fall. Like, Ben Simmons is still expected to be a starting star right now, right? So I don't know if he could flourish in a bench role where, like, hey, and he's so young, though. It shouldn't be like this, but hey, can you play for 15 great minutes a night? Like, is that any different than playing at 30?
Ben Simmons was probably on the path to be a consistent third-team All-NBA guy.
He was going to be in the conversation probably for 10 years.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, he was going to be an MVP candidate. I don't know about all that. He never wanted to shoot, and you have to be able to shoot, but he did everything else great. I don't know. Maybe Joel Embiid didn't realize how strong his trolling was. Maybe he just didn't. He trolled him into the shadow realm. I don't know.
Yeah, but he trolled him because he was, he was being a bad NBA player.
He was. I mean, if you don't score a layup on Trae Young, it's time to go.
Dude, that picture is insane. Every time I look at it, I swear they're photoshopping it to make Ben Simmons bigger and Trae Young smaller. Like,
it blows my mind.
It's insane, dude.
Like, it would be like if one of us were at the rim and he didn't put it up.
Dude, I'm about 6'2", and I'm pretty sure I would have scored that 100% of the time on Trae Young.
Yeah, no.
Like, Ben Simmons has 6 inches and 50 pounds on me. Come on, man. What are you doing?
I have played with you. You don't pass up layups.
Like, if it's 2 points, I'm going to score 2 points.
You are the funniest. You are sometimes the funniest guy to play with because I watch you and like you just full on Kobe people. You're like, no, he doesn't deserve for me to pass him the ball. I'm like, Chuck, he's open. You're like, no, he doesn't.
No, here's the thing. I usually will start out depending on what I think we need. Like, if I think I need to score every time, I'm going to start out just taking the ball. I don't care. But if it's a fun game, I'm going to start out passing and like, all right, if you pass it back to me, I'm going to have no problem passing you the ball for the rest of the game. But if I notice you never pass it back to me, you're not getting the ball as much. But I pass it around. Like, I want everyone else to shoot.
We've only played serious games then because I've never seen you in a fun game. Much like your poker face.
I mean, even in a competitive game, though, I'm a pretty if I'm getting to the rim, they're gonna start having to send 3 guys and someone's open, like just make a shot.
So I just fired Rob Pelinka. You're the Lakers GM.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing before the deadline?
Before the deadline?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with the Lakers? We're taking these 2 picks. We got to go all in. We have LeBron James. We need him to stay here. We're not keeping him, though, because there's no way we can get Bronny unless we trade for like the 20th pick and we use a 20th pick on Bronny. It seems insane.
You think Bronny's going to be a lottery pick?
Here's the thing. On a skill basis, I don't think he would deserve to be, but like people are talking about, would you use the first pick on Bronny if you knew you got Bron for like 2 or 3 years? And it's like, if you think about it from a business point of view, if I own the franchise, that's got to be $1 billion for my franchise over the next 20 years. I will be able to print and sell LeBron jerseys wearing my franchise forever. Like,
40-year-old LeBron. I mean,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not even talking about the on the court performance. It's just about the money that LeBron James playing for my franchise for 3 years would bring. Like, even if Bronny doesn't pan out, but here's the thing: I'm pretty sure Bronny works hard because his ranking shot up his senior year. On the national ranking, and he looks way better.
I mean, hey, LeBron's genetics are different.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce might be crazy because he's a little bit taller, but I think Bronny's going to be at least Austin. I hope he's at least Austin Rivers, man. And I think Austin Rivers is good.
Yeah, Austin Rivers gets undue hate.
Yeah, he accepted his role.
He's a legitimate NBA player. He's had a successful run.
He's probably one of the most successful 250 NBA players of all time. Like, it's probably higher than that, but I don't want to give him too much credit. But I can't imagine there's 250 NBA players, like money-wise for sure.
Now, dude, I want to sleep tonight. Now you've just thrown me into, am I going to find 250 NBA players just to prove Chuck wrong?
I bet you all right, I'm going to actually pull up career earnings list. I bet you there aren't 250 NBA players that made more money than Austin Rivers in their life.
Well, that's not fair. He plays in this era. That's 100%. I don't think
that's what I'm talking about. Successful, though. If you
talking about money success, okay, got you.
Like money and the success he saw, like everything, not just money, but the success he saw on the court. Like, he was a solid rotation player for 12 plus years. Like, I don't know if there's 250 guys. Well, maybe there have been.
He's in the irrational confidence guy off the bench kind of realm.
He's so funny though.
You mean trying to fight Mo Bamba and then tell him Orlando's his city?
I think Mo Bamba
which is not entirely incorrect. I lived in Orlando for 2 years, and Austin Rivers was talked about a few times.
I feel like Mo Bamba said some crazy disrespectful shit.
Unprompted. Well, whatever he said sent Markelle Fultz into the shadow realm for 5 seconds. It must have been something. All right, back to the Lakers, though. What are you doing? They already got Hachimura. I do like the Hachimura trade. I thought that was pretty solid by them.
It's a good trade. If I'm the Lakers GM, what am I doing? Like, Gary Trent was the first guy that came to mind just because I think that he is a realistic player the Lakers could get, but we're not giving up 2 first round
Portland's
picks
not trading with LA. Portland's not trading with LA.
Why not?
Don't see it. They'd have to give up both firsts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like they wouldn't not trade him just because it's the Lakers.
So it'd be like Beverly, both firsts, and I don't know, Toscano Anderson.
No, we'd probably have to give up Lonnie Walker. It's like, is Lonnie Walker and a pick for Lonnie Walker was showing some promise, but maybe it's not enough.
I'm keeping Lonnie Walker over Patrick Beverly.
Here's the thing, though. You need a guy like Patrick Beverly sometimes when you have this dysfunctional of a team. Like, you never know what you're going to get. Just create chaos. You know?
I'm with you, but you could take his 8.5 PER and send it anywhere you want.
Here's the thing, though. Patrick Beverly's impact on the court does not show up on the stat sheet. Like, he's not expected to get points, rebounds, or assists. Like, he's expected to hit open threes and guard, the other team's best guard.
He hasn't been doing that. He's done it for like the last 8 games.
All right.
For 90% of this season, he has been objectively a bad player.
I'm gonna see what he's shooting from 3. He's shooting 34% from three. So it's like if he made five
That's
more
after
threes
just
this
getting
year.
hot. That's after
Yeah.
just getting hot.
So that's what I'm saying. If he made five
He
more
did
threes
some
this year,
steroids.
he would be shooting average.
He had a putback, Chuck. He's getting drug tested. He's going to get suspended sometime soon.
Dude, that was the best dunk I've ever seen. It inspired me to write like poetry that night.
I'm not going to lie. I was totally just, my mind turned into a fried egg for about 5 minutes.
Well, my mind did the thing like, wait, that wasn't Patrick Beverly. Like, who was that?
I had a, what did he say?
Yeah, because I know
that's what just.
Dude, lost our
I was
minds.
like, did he push off someone's back? What happened? Oh no, he just dunked it.
Just bizarre, just perfect timing, everything.
Anyways, okay. You're the GM. I don't know why I'm interrupting. You do whatever you want to do. You tell the people what you want to see the Lakers do.
Oh man, there is all right. So big man, we're probably fine at big man. Like, well, first of all, I would fire Darvin Ham. That's the first move. I think he's the worst coach of all time. This guy's the worst coach than Daniel Hackett, dude. Like, imagine if you get Daniel Hackett LeBron, oh my gosh, what could he have accomplished, man? They gave him Russell Wilson. And Darvin Ham is a ham, and he needs to go away. I would trade him to the Bahamas and let him go live his life on whatever contract we gave him. Terrible coach. The rotations make no sense. He loves 6 guards. Let's just play Patrick Beverly, Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, and Lonnie Walker with LeBron.
That's kind of what he had to do. I could understand the lack of big, but what guards does he have? That's
what I'm saying. No, he's playing too many guards. Like,
it was a roster of guards, though. That's all they have.
Dude, it's just we had other options. There were multiple games lost this year because of poor coaching decisions down the stretch.
Are you on Frank Vogel's payroll?
Dude, Frank Vogel was fine. Like, it sucks he couldn't figure out what to do with Russ, but it's like, yeah, we have Frank Vogel, and he's not the best coach. He's a good coach, but are we really going to gamble and see if we can get better? Because how are we going to find a better coach? This is a mess.
All right. So you fired Darvin Ham.
Fire Darvin Ham. I would coach this team. And
you would Pat Riley this?
Yeah, I would like see whatever assistant on the team is competent and talk to them and be like, all right, you're going to do like the schemes and stuff, and I'm going to tell the players to shut the fuck up. And
so you're getting Lionel Hollins is what you're telling me. Or are you promoting Phil Handy? You're promoting Phil Handy?
Dude, I would go.
I love Phil Handy. I think Phil Handy's awesome.
These guys would never see me smile. Yeah.
All right. You fired Darvin Ham. You're trading these 2 first-round picks. Who are you getting?
Gary Trent and Chris Boucher. We don't need Chris Boucher. Gary Trent. We don't need. It's not Gary Trent. That's not the answer. A player like Gary Trent, though, is what the Lakers need.
Oh, 3-point shooting wing
that plays defense. Like, I don't know if he's a great man-to-man defender, because I think when I checked, he's like maybe average man-to-man. He's just good at getting in the passing lanes, or he's good at getting steals. But does
this get you this player? I'm gonna say the names that you have to send out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to send out Patrick Beverly.
Okay, I mean, it's worthless.
You have to send out Max Christie, Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, both first-round picks. You get OG Anunoby.
Here's the problem with that trade: is you just listed 4 of the worst players in the NBA to trade for OG Anunoby.
No. But you get the 2 first. They're asking for the DeJounte Murray deal, 3 unprotected.
Yeah, I feel like they could get more than that for OG.
What, like Memphis? All of Memphis's picks?
I don't know. Like, why would you trade all your picks for OG though?
I mean, I don't know what else they can do, man. We're talking about 2027 and 2029 unprotected. There's not much you can do.
Memphis? Or
no,
just
us?
The
Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we took that.
Rudy Gobert ruined NBA trades.
Dude, and he ruined that Timberwolves franchise. Imagine being a Timberwolves fan. You already had baby Rudy Gobert on a rookie contract in Walker Kessler, and then you went and traded him and your entire future for actual Rudy Gobert, who just really limits the ceiling of your best player, Anthony Edwards, because he clogs up the lane and Anthony Edwards has no room to do anything. It's a disaster.
The moral of the story is don't trade with Danny Ainge.
Oh, dude, man, Utah is so they're
Like,
sipping wine.
Like he
in
shouldn't
front
even
of us.
exist in an NBA GM's phone. It should just be like, don't answer under any circumstances whenever he calls. Don't answer.
You're getting fleeced. Lauren Marketing though, what a
Dude,
player.
he's like the guy at the poker table where he's like, I have pocket aces. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, all right. I don't believe you. It's like, okay. You go to the flop, it's ace, ace, king. And
Mhm.
he's like, I have pocket aces. And you're like,
You have King 10.
yeah, you have pocket kings, and you're like, I don't believe you.
Oh well.
You call it down, and then at the end he flips over pocket aces, and you're just like, what the fuck? He's like, I told you the whole time I have pocket aces.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going Gary Trent, Chris Boucher. That's what you're giving me.
I don't think it works. I'm not sure. A player like Gary Trent, I don't think we need a player like Chris Boucher right now, but a player like Gary Trent, I think is what we need. We need a good wing. I don't know who it is. I don't know
Sounds
who
like the
even
Lakers are
exists.
screwed.
I mean, we're definitely screwed, dude. That's the whole thing.
The one name that kind of like pops out to me is maybe like a Jonathan Isaac. If they have Orlando has too many bigs.
We don't need a big. I don't think we need a big. Like we could use a big, but like not to trade a pick for. We want someone for free.
Well,
If we get
what I'm thinking is, if you send out Russ and the 2 firsts to Orlando, is that enough to get Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris, and Terrence Ross back?
I don't think Orlando would do that trade though. Because again, why do you want to take the ball out of Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero and Markel Fultz's hands? Especially Paolo.
I'm not saying Russ is going to play. You're just getting those two picks.
No, I don't know. There was a player that I thought of when you said something a second ago. Jordan Clarkson might make sense.
Yeah, I can't trade with Danny Ainge. Would you feel good? Would you feel good with Rob Pelinka on one line and Danny Ainge on the other? There's no way.
If we got Jordan Clarkson for 1 first-round pick, I would feel great about that. I don't care even what else happened.
You know that's not going to happen. He's taking Rob Pelinka's pants, belt.
Jordan Clarkson's not worth 2 first-round picks, though.
He's going to take Rob Pelinka's sock and leave him with the other sock just to show the other GMs what he can do.
Then we don't need Jordan Clarkson.
No, Utah's not an option. I'd be terrified if I heard that. So Eric Gordon on Houston?
I would do that, but yeah, like Russ would not play for Houston.
No, it's not going to be Russ. It would probably be like Beverly and the picks.
I would love Eric Gordon on this team. That guy raised his season high 3 or he had a season high 3 games in a row last week. It's like 24, 26, 28.
The other option is Beal.
Why? They're going to trade back for us?
If they get the 2 1s.
No, Beal's washed, but I don't want to be disrespectful to Bradley Beal. He's playing below what he's capable of.
I would do that if I was Washington. You wouldn't? I don't want to pay Bradley Beal $50 million for the next 5 years. Let me make that
Lakers definitely don't want to play Bradley Beal because LeBron's probably walking after next season. So
we did what?
Yeah,
maybe
no shot. But
I think Beal could play as a third fiddle. No,
not for $50 million. No, it's worse. Probably it's one of the worst contracts in NBA history, and there's been a lot of bad contracts.
It is 100% going to end up that way. I wonder if Washington would flip for Simmons just because it's shorter.
Yeah, but the Nets, I don't think the Nets are going to lock themselves into another. I don't even know what the Nets have to do. Just restart, reset the game, start a new franchise.
They just quit?
Dude,
they just retired. They retired.
Yeah, just go new association. It's really easy.
So not Beal, but would you do Levine?
I mean, I would, yeah, but I don't think the Bulls would.
I don't think they want to pay Levine that either, though. Levine, that's terrifying.
Levine's been fine. At least Levine's been good, though.
He's got 5 more years with that knee. the knee that continuously needs operations.
So why would the Lakers want to have that for 5 years?
Because they don't have a choice. You
We
guys have no
we do have a choice, though. Don't do it.
Maybe the best trade the Lakers can do is DeRozan and Caruso for Westbrook and the picks.
I mean, that would be a dream come true, but there's just no way.
Or they could take Vucevic back, Vooch and Caruso for Westbrook and the picks.
Dude, if we had to give up a pick to get back Caruso after not paying him, like you gotta be kidding me. You couldn't have been not cheap and just paid him.
I couldn't believe they didn't keep him. Caruso was awesome.
If this guy was on the court for 30 minutes a game for us this year, so this is actually an interesting stat. Raptor, who do you think has the highest defensive impact in the NBA?
Right now?
Yeah.
I mean, is it Caruso? Because
Caruso, yeah.
I mean,
defensive Raptor, it's not close. Like, it's Caruso way out in front, and this is considering minutes played. So in the fewer minutes he plays, he's just way out ahead of everyone. And then the 4 guys behind him are Jokic, Gobert, Embiid, and Brook Lopez.
Wow.
So it might say something about the model, but last year it was the same thing. Caruso was the most impactful defensive player in the NBA.
Should Laker fans get excited about Terry Rozier?
No. Have you seen him play?
Yeah.
Like, he would help this team.
Twice.
He would help
this season.
He would help this team. Actually, maybe.
You are just
Why?
the most jaded Laker fan. You've given up.
Nothing, because they're just not realistic.
You've accepted your fate.
To me, why would anyone make a trade with us? Like, they could get something better somewhere else. Our picks probably aren't going to be that good, or maybe they'll be great. I don't know.
I think those picks are going to be amazing.
No, dude, we're for sure signing like Devin Booker and
You're for sure not.
And free agent, we're for sure signing a superstar after LeBron leaves. Like, we're going to have no problem picking up our next superstar.
Here's where the delusion comes out. I just wanted to make.
When have we not signed a big name free agent ever? After we signed
the stretch after Kobe. No one wanted to come here.
We signed LeBron James.
No, there was some lean years there until you got LeBron.
And then also there was
when Kobe got that last extension, no one wanted to come.
Dude, we signed Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng, so don't say we didn't sign anybody.
Talk about worst NBA deals of all time.
And that's about to be passed.
You guys gave Luol Deng a 580 after he had a spinal tap to try to play in a playoff series after Tibbs ran that man into the ground.
We just finished paying him last season.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Is there any other NBA trades that you would like to see?
No, I mean, I want chaos, but there's nothing specific that comes to mind. Just anything.
There's going to be no chaos that tops Kyrie?
I mean, like, Kyrie we knew was getting traded, like, not necessarily to Dallas, but like a completely something out of left field that triggers something else, and like someone just decides to go full competing or full rebuild or something.
Does LeBron ask for a trade this offseason?
LeBron? I don't think so.
He 100% regrets signing that extension. If they don't trade those 2 first-round picks this deadline, he 100% is going to ask for a trade.
I mean,
he should.
I feel like we have cap space just looking at this right now. Like, we can sign a third player. Like, so if he leaves, where can he go that he has a better chance of competing for a championship?
Nearly anywhere.
Where though? Like, who gets traded for LeBron and that team is still good enough to compete for a championship?
Phoenix.
Who's the trade?
I don't know. I gotta look at it in the offseason. It's not something I've thought about. I'm just saying there's 100% teams that can trade for LeBron in the offseason. Let's not play that game.
And still, there are teams that can trade, but what teams can make a trade for LeBron James, the best basketball player of all time?
Can change a whole.
But I mean, even if he demands a
trade,
like, we don't have to. Right, so we don't have to trade him. We don't have to trade him.
LeBron James goes back home to Cleveland.
We don't have to trade him. He's under contract.
No, you do not. That is 100% true.
Yeah, Cleveland would be sick though. I would love that. If he leaves, I would love that. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like F you LeBron for going back when they're really good, but it'd be so fun.
I gave you a team that can trade for him
But who though? But who's the trade? I'm saying if he signs, like who's the trade?
Who would be the trade? I mean, they would have to give up Jared Allen or someone else. It would have to be Jared Allen plus somebody.
For LeBron James.
Jared Allen probably plus. I don't think that they'd give up Mobley.
For LeBron James.
Probably Jared Allen, Okoro, and another young piece.
You're throwing out some wild trades today.
I have to. That's what I do.
Jared Allen and Isaac Okoro for LeBron James.
No, plus others. They have to give up young stuff. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. Are we twisting my words here, Chuck?
I mean, that's what I heard. Is that those are the main pieces in the trade? Because you said other stuff like Isaac
I guess
Okoro.
they'd have to give up Mobley. Would you give up Mobley to get LeBron with Mitchell and Garland?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about
LeBron
that.
James, dude. Are you for LeBron James?
I don't think I would mess with that core.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to either, but if I had the option to trade Evan Mobley for LeBron James, I don't see how you say no. Like, they're ready to compete for a championship if they get LeBron just for Mobley, like if that was the trade.
I think it's going to be a Kevin Durant situation where LeBron's going to flex on them and ask for a trade, and we'll end up not going anywhere. I don't see how he's a tradable asset, but he definitely regrets signing that extension. If they don't trade, I don't understand why they won't trade the first round picks. You're already you're committed to this team. You have no choice. And like you said, you have to fall back on, we've always signed somebody. Also, I think the worst thing that happens is whenever LeBron retires or moves on, just trade AD and you won't get the same value back, but you'll get something.
Well, AD has a player option after next season, so he can just. So yeah, we would be forced to trade AD if we knew LeBron was walking.
If LeBron stays, I think AD stays. He's a clutch guy. They're tight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening. But anyway, so no more trades there. We have do you have your under-owned All-Stars?
The players that you guys should be playing in DraftKings that just
Chuck
go overlooked every day.
Yeah, Chuck at Occupy Fantasy is our expert on basketball daily fantasy. And in honor of the All-Star game coming up, where it seems like All-Star stars are falling off like flies here with Curry now going to miss it. Who is your under-owned daily fantasy All-Star team?
So actually, it might sound crazy, but number one is actually probably Luka Doncic, just because he's probably the player that's been in the most winning lineups this year, and it just he's coming in under-owned probably every night. Luka Doncic, Fred VanVleet's another guy that until recently no one was playing him. He went on a crazy stretch, and then everyone played him today, and he had the worst game he's had in like 2 weeks. So people are going to go back to not playing him again, which is going to be great.
I lost a prop with him.
I lost under or over 40.5 fantasy points, but I hit over 4.5 rebounds.
Nice.
For Fred VanVleet today.
Nice.
Shai Gilgeous is another guy that came to mind too. He doesn't shoot threes, but he's averaging 32 points this season.
Should have been an All-Star starter. Will be an All-Star starter without Steph.
Probably, yeah. Those are all I just name some of the best players, but it's sometimes it's that simple. Just play the best players. People try to make it too complicated and get cute. Instead of Luka, I'll just play, I don't know, Kristaps Porzingis. It's usually not going to work out that way.
No. You got three there. Who's filling out your lineup?
I'm trying to see if I can find a cheaper guy who goes overlooked consistently.
Thomas Bryant.
Oh, no, absolutely not. The problem with Thomas Bryant is he's not playing minutes anymore. When AD's in, this ham has no idea what to do with the rotation. So it's Thomas Bryant should be playing every game. He should be playing 26 minutes at every game. He's really good.
He does do good things.
Jalen Duren is a cheap guy that people just don't want to play, but his price stays pretty cheap every day, and he's a double threat most games, especially when he's starting next to Isaiah Stewart. Since Isaiah Stewart's not going to back up Jalen Duren, it's just more safe for Jalen Duren's minutes.
Got one more guy for me.
Is there one more under-owned guy that no one wants to play?
Brogdon.
No, people like playing. So that's one. Like people love playing Brogdon.
Do people like playing Josh Giddey?
No, but the problem with Giddey is that we like the problem with everyone on the Thunder is their rotation changes every day. Giddey could play 28 minutes or play 39 minutes. Like he checked back in. They were up by 40 in the fourth quarter, and he played like 6 or 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. Shai Gilgeous checked back in with 6 minutes left. They were up by 35. Like, so I don't know.
Points when they can get them.
Yeah, like if we got some kind of confirmation that Giddey's always going to play. Like, because sometimes he doesn't even play 30 minutes. If we knew he's playing 34, 35 minutes, then he'd be in play almost every day. Bojan Bogdanovic actually is a player that people don't want to play, but when he gets hot, he's hot. I said Bojan, didn't I? Bojan Bogdanovic.
Bojack Bogdanovic.
It's a great name. Him and Bogdan.
Bogdan. A lot of original names there. I've been hitting Bogdan overs on points lately. He had some really low point totals, and I was like, Bogdanovic to get 12 points? Okay.
Bogdan is free. Like if you have your betting page open and you get the notification, whatever, that Trae Young is like ruled out like last minute. It's happened a few times recently, which is super weird. But if you can get on that DeJounte and Bogdan props,
yeah. You mean like Trae Young hates Nate McMillan and wants him fired?
Dude, I have no idea.
I think Trae Young I think he's the next superstar to get traded.
I wouldn't hate it. Give the team to DeJounte. Like, I'd rather have DeJounte as my franchise point guard than Trae Young. I'm not saying that he's better than Trae Young, but like for my style, what I would want, I would rather have a player like DeJounte.
I think Trae Young is. I think people got caught up on that playoff run where he kind of caught, especially with the side talk NYC stuff with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Knicks team overachieved, and they should not have been a 4 seed, and they were a terrible matchup for the Hawks. And then you get the imploding Sixers, where Ben Simmons kind of tanked that series, and then you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they really shouldn't have been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are just I think people are like, this is a guy you could win with, and I really think he kind of caught lightning in a bottle. He's kind of riding that.
Well, winning and being good at basketball are two very different things. Because looking at Trae's stats, like he's averaging 27 and 10 this year. Like there's not a lot of guys that have ever averaged that, but contributing to winning, I kind of look at it like Kyrie won with LeBron once, right? But like kind of like how much
kind
is
of like Steph being hurt, but
yeah,
everyone likes to conveniently forget that part. But
well, Steph was on the court, so no excuses.
He was hurt.
No excuses.
He had half a knee ligament.
But it's like I feel like DeJounte is going to help me win. If not by himself, obviously, but like DeJounte with good players around me is going to help me win more than Trae Young with good players around me.
Trae averages 27 points, but he also probably gives up 27 a game. So,
well, it goes back to the other thing. Like, maybe it doesn't matter in certain situations. Like for them, it probably matters a lot because their team's not very good. But
yikes! All right. So, that's an interesting list. Kind of chalky. Van Vliet is someone that I've been kind of hitting props on. Mm-hmm. Duren is not someone I thought about. I probably need to think about it a little bit more. Bojan has been awesome for props, just hitting his points over.
Well, for like props, Jonas Valanciunas over when he comes back from injury. Like I've been hitting his rebounds over every day, and then Miles Turner over rebounds is a really good one that's consistently too low.
Yeah. I've cleaned up the last 3 times on Tatum's under.
For rebounds?
Rebounds and points.
I want to say I actually checked earlier, and Tatum's under was a good bet for tomorrow.
That's a blowout opportunity for Boston. So he may not even play the fourth quarter.
So here's the thing, like as related to DFS, I don't factor in blowouts. Like I might consider it a little bit, but I don't let it drive my decisions really. Because what if it doesn't blow out, or it's like
Sure.
for like if the Celtics blow them out, it's probably because Jason Tatum had a really good game, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. And so there's some
We'll
kind
see.
of correlation there.
Jordan Poole's got OKC tomorrow. That's going to be fun.
Man, it's going to be fun guessing OKC's rotation.
Did you watch the Mouthpiece game?
I saw the replay. I didn't watch it though.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Mm.
Jordan Poole essentially got Steph Curry ejected.
Dude, I feel like Jordan Poole is the reason why this team isn't working, right? Like Draymond declined a bit, but I feel like that's a big part of it too. I still think Draymond's fine, but he declined a bit. But I feel like Jordan Poole just kills this team's chemistry. Like, ship his ass out of here.
Really?
I mean, we're competing for a championship right now. Get us Kevin Durant or something. Like, not
What
maybe
is
not
this
KD.
we stuff? You are a Laker fan, sir.
Well, I'm putting myself in the like not we like I'm a Warriors fan, but like if I'm on the Warriors, if I'm
Gotcha.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Steve
I
Kerr,
needed that
Draymond,
clarification.
yeah, like we're competing for a championship.
Yeah.
Like ship this kid out of here. Like
So you think Draymond was justified in clocking him?
No, like have a stern, hey, don't do that anymore. Like that, like I cannot think of anything else in history that was publicized that kills the team's chemistry more than knocking out one of your teammates.
Yeah, how did they get that video?
Dude, TMZ paid, I think it was like $300K or $250K to one of the video editors for it.
Oh, well.
You can Google that.
I'm happy for that video editor.
Yeah, it was a cool video.
All right. You want to do a little Super Bowl props?
Yeah. Let's take a look.
Get into it. I don't think the spread's changed, has it? It was Eagles -1.5.
It's -1.5 right now, yeah. So that's one thing.
No movement there.
Yeah. So it opened at Eagles +2.5, and then it got hammered, and then it was Chiefs +2.5, and now it's settled at Chiefs +1.5.
Right.
And like someone who I believe to be a sharp guy said that, because books change their line so quick because the sharp bettors got that money down, right? And it's like whatever, like if you're a book and you're considering these guys sharp bettors to like shape your lines, you should stop considering them sharp bettors. Because like the data I look at, I think it should be Chiefs, at least Chiefs +1.5, if not Chiefs +2.5.
Interesting. You have the Eagles as a favorite here.
I'm sorry, Chiefs -2.5. I have the Chiefs as a favorite. Yeah, I have it flipped. Yeah, I would give it sounds crazy to give 3 points to one side, but I would give at least 2 points to the Chiefs on that spread.
Yeah, 3. I mean, you look at there's some spooky stats where they're like dead even. There's a graphic on ESPN where like they have the same record, they have the same point differential, they have the same points scored. These are very freakishly identical teams. Nick Sirianni is kind of Andy Reid adjacent a little bit. Sirianni was a Frank Reich guy. Frank Reich was a Doug Peterson guy. Doug Peterson was an Andy Reid guy. So some of the offensive principles are kind of similar there. These are two teams that have these are probably the two best offensive lines in the league. And then we have two defenses that prioritize getting to the quarterback. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Now, the biggest differential I see between the teams is going to be the Chiefs secondary versus the Eagles secondary. The Eagles secondary has two of probably the top 12 corners in the league in Bradbury and Slay. I say that trepidatiously, it's easy to play corner when your D line produces 70 sacks. And a lot of that is without having to blitz, because when you have Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, their first round pick has been amazing. And he's kind of the key to this team, because when he got hurt, you saw that teams were able to run the ball on them kind of at will. And I do think that there is somewhat of a difference between Mahomes and Hurts. Hurts has been transcendent this year, but Mahomes is still, I think, far and away the best quarterback in the game.
I think so too.
We did see this. So you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside. I would say overall, this might be a hot take. I don't know if it is or isn't, but I think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are a better duo than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So
it's a very hot take.
We're splitting hairs a little bit there. I believe in Devontae Smith a lot. I think Devontae Smith is the difference between Devontae Smith and T. Higgins is much bigger to me than Jamar Chase and A.J. Brown. Obviously, I think Jamar Chase is the best receiver there, but I think Devontae quietly he's been amazing on the field.
Oh, he's been great. Yeah.
He had a slow start, but from week 3 or week 4 on, guy's been a top 5 receiver in the league.
Oh man, I did 500 football drafts last season for best ball, and I took AJ Brown a lot, and I did not take Devontae Smith at all. And Jalen Hurts was my top quarterback that I was drafting, and I just I took Devontae Smith when I needed the stack, but I'm just like, he's going too high, and there's just not enough yards to go around. But no, there's enough to go around.
Yeah, Devontae finished as the number 9 PPR wide receiver.
Yeah,
and that's with that coming. And that's with like 3 donuts at the beginning of the year and splitting time with AJ Brown. He's been amazing. The guy is a Heisman Trophy winner for a reason.
And he looks great too, more so than his stats.
It's awesome. Awesome. Now, historically, mobile quarterbacks have had success against Spagnuolo, but I think Spagnuolo is different in the playoffs. I agree with you. It's really weird to see the Chiefs as an underdog here. Especially like I caught them when they went to +3 against the Bengals. I fucking hammered the fuck out of that. That was just like, I thought that was easy money. I was like, I think it's a field goal differential between these two teams. No shot. And they're at home. I don't care if Mahomes sprained both ankles.
Love it.
Kicking. I think kicking could be interesting here. We have 2, I think, Pro Bowl level kickers, but I don't know, man. Harrison Butker seems to just he has mental lapses where he just kind of just booms them and he just misses. Jake Elliott's kind of a steady guy as long as it's within 50 yards. He can kick from distance, but he's kind of automatic as long as it's within 50. I don't know, man. It's a field goal difference for me. The biggest problem I have with the Eagles is that they've kind of had an easy slate to the Super Bowl, and sometimes that can be an advantage. But I don't think they've seen anything like Mahomes kind of all season. And you go back to that Washington game where Heineke was able to do some off-schedule stuff, and he was able to kind of move the ball for long, sustained drives. And if Heineke can do that, well, best believe the best quarterback in the game could do it. I really think that it's going to come down to a field goal, and I do think that there's a bit of a coaching disparity here. I trust Andy Reid more than I trust Nick Sirianni. Yeah, I do. It's going to be a tight one. And we have an over-under of 50.5. I think I'd take the Chiefs and the over here.
Yeah, I got Chiefs and the over.
Yeah, I do think, with the over-under being 50.5, 27-24 result does sound possible. This, weirdly enough, it's going to be fascinating to watch Philly here because they're definitely a first half team. Philly Philly is their blueprint to winning has been consistently, we're going to come out, we're going to throw the ball, we're going to get a lead. You're going to try to compensate to stop the pass. Shockingly, we think of them as a running team, but they're like third in pass attempts or something. Hurts is going to throw the ball to Brown and Smith in the first half, and then in the second half, we're just going to bleed the clock out because we have a 7 to 10 point lead, and we're just going to bleed you out. The Chiefs kind of do the same thing. They are a first half team. They kind of get out to leads, and then there's a lull, and then they come back. So that kind of component kind of tells me whoever kind of gets out to if someone can establish a 10-point lead in the first half, I think it's going to be really hard for the other side to come back.
I think that was a line on one of the props. What's the largest lead under or over 10.5?
Yeah, I'd probably take the under on that. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That's really hard to see.
Yeah, unless the Chiefs defense shuts, because I really don't see how the Chiefs offense isn't going to score. But unless the Chiefs offense shuts down the Eagles offense, which I don't think is going to happen either. I just think they're going to be trading. I think it's going to, like I said, I'm on the over, so I think it's going to just back and forth all game, which would be awesome.
I think doesn't Andy Reid have some like crazy stat when he has extra time to prepare? I think he's like what is it? I think it's like 16-1 off of bye weeks or something like that. He's like 16 or 17-1 off when he has extra time to prepare. Kelsey, we had that late game, that late in the week kind of Kelsey's questionable with back spasms. He looked fine against Cincinnati. I don't know if
looked fine.
I don't know if they were trying to like play. Yeah, like he looks fine.
The way I heard someone put it was like whatever they're reporting, it's divisional championship. Or the conference championship. It's impossible that he's not playing.
They have drugs for this.
Yeah, but then the other thing too was like someone actually made an argument that it was gonna wear off at halftime. So if you could take advantage
for
of
Mahomes,
for both of them, for Kelsey and Mahomes.
I heard Tony Romo's. Yeah, I think Tony Romo was saying it.
Okay, so the guy in the Discord, maybe he was repeating that, but he mentioned it before the game though, so I don't know if Tony Romo said it during.
Gotcha. I think Romo mentioned a little bit of it, but they also said that they also tried to sell us on the Mahomes didn't take any drugs before the game, which he took something. I don't know what he took. There's no way. It's either he didn't have a high ankle sprain as reported, or he took drugs. There's no way that you play a game like the one that he did on a high ankle sprain against that Bengals defense. Looks like we lost Chuck. We'll give it a little 60 seconds. If not, we'll kind of call it a wrap there. We'll be back later in the week. You could find Chuck at Occupy Fantasy. If you guys want to make some money doing daily fantasy, I highly recommend checking out his page. You can also follow him on Twitter at Chuck Silver DFS for daily fantasy news. He does all sports. Right now it's basketball. They do a great job with it. Check him out Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you are part of the lucky group that want to join his Discord, you can hit him up on his page over there for more information. Like I said, I use it myself. Even if you don't want to play daily fantasy, they're giving out great knowledge that you could use on props. That's where I'm at there. I'm dipping my toe in the water on daily fantasy. But yeah, it's going to be hopefully we get another. We're rooting for chaos here. Laker fans, hang in there. I don't think you guys ever had a shot at Kyrie. Joe Tsai wasn't going to let that happen. But take solace. I think you guys do move those first-round picks. I don't know for whom, but you guys will get somebody. and hopefully the Lakers can avoid that play-in game. We'll be back this week. The goal is going to be 2 shows for this week, and any submissions, you can always throw comments in. If you want to throw any submissions, you could send them to jtbetweenyourears@gmail.com. And until then, peace.